So it is about 6 o'clock, August the 1st. It's a Monday, holiday Monday, and I'm back. On Friday, me and the guys, Peter and David, finished off the floor. But we were rushing because the guys wanted to get out of here at a decent time because it was a Friday of a long weekend, and I didn't do a video afterwards. But we covered it up with a big tarp, which immediately ballooned up, and we couldn't seem to find out where the wind was coming in, but it's kind of cool, actually, kind of mesmerizing. There's the beast. Today, when I got here, the first thing I did is I took the tarp off. We had a bunch of wood stacked on top of it, and I moved all that off. Rolled the tarp up over there. I made this little ramp so we could easily get up here with stuff. And here we are. 600 square feet of plywood goodness. And this will be my floor for a while, until I can afford a real floor. It's just tacked down for now. I think the corners are screwed in, so I have to come along probably tomorrow and put in a million screws. Unfortunately, we discovered that this plywood is not exactly 4 feet wide. It's like 3 feet 11 and 5/8 wide. So out to the end of this here is 20 feet. So we came up short, about 1.5 inches. Bizarre, and I'm not exactly sure what we're gonna do here. I have to come out to here because that's where my wall is gonna start. Out here, I can't have nothing. So I think what I'm gonna do is bring the skill saw out, cut off this tongue, and then cut strips off of another piece of, say something like that. I'm gonna just have to cut off strips, 1.5 inches wide, and then just screw them down along here and not worry about the tongue and groove part of it. Because eventually the wall framing is 5.5 inches, so it's going to come out to, somewhere like that, and it's going to cover the whole thing and be nailed down properly. So it's not going to matter if that part is tongue and groove. I mean, the real reason for tongue and groove is so that you don't get shifting when you're walking on it. It stays, the plywood doesn't go up and down. It sticks together. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. Tomorrow I'm actually going to see about doing the deck part here. I'm fairly confident I can do that on my own. These doubles here are for the posts that are going to go on. And I see that I haven't screwed them together yet. I've screwed them together at the ends, but not in the middle, which they should be. So 4 posts along. There's another one. And of course my panels, Jesus, trying to keep my panels in the sun. This is like the only sunny spot right around here. It gets most of the sun during the day, so I keep having to move them every time I want to do something out here, which is a pain. Got to unplug all the cables and then sit there for a minute going, how do these plug together again? Yep. There's my stairs. I thought my stringers for my stairs, I thought I was going to, build stairs and I could just put them wherever I wanted then. But eventually they're going to be like real stairs for where my door is. And as it turns out, if I cut them, say I wanted to put stairs over here, and I cut those stringers down so that the right length, then they're not going to fit where my door is going to go, which is going to be over here somewhere. I think what I'll do is I'll measure out where my door is going to be here, and then I'll put some stairs right here, and they'll be semi-permanent, I guess. Well, and I was going to do that soon, so that we'd have stairs, but so confusing. But now I have this, so I'm thinking I should have turned it over. I mean, these are nice for gripping if you know, you're going up here and get your foot over the edge of that board. But if I flip it over, then I can wheel the barbecue up there. Oh, I broke my table too. You can just see it underneath there where the bottom broke off from those two legs. Stupidly, I dropped it off the deck here thinking it would be okay on Friday, and it's not. Oh, I see I have some things to cover up. So it's, the sun's still going to be up for a couple of hours. So I could actually do something here. Actually, one of the things I want to do is I've got my miter saw here. Still in the box, brand new. I haven't put it together. And I'm thinking I should put it together. I also need to clean up that mess. Just every time I go in there to get something, I can't find it because everything's everywhere. But I don't know. It's nice and peaceful. Very nice and peaceful here. Maybe I'll go down to the water. The beaver shouldn't be out for another hour and a half, but just check things out. So it's really nice to have evening clothes here, you know, when you're done working. And at the end of the day, just get out of your dirty stuff and just have, like, even if they're just pajamas. I know I'm sitting here like half naked. Here's my wound. In fact, I was, that board right there was sitting over there on the deck, and I was moving one of the solar panels, and I stepped on one edge of that board thinking it was okay. It was, well, I was sitting on top of the joist there, but the edge I stepped on was not supported by a joist, and the whole board flipped up, and I went down, and I came down right on the corner of that solar panel, and it just got me really good. I got a big bruise. It's really sensitive. A big scratch. But I guess I was lucky it wasn't worse. But I'm okay. So I'm wearing my Gears of War. They're more like pajamas than anything, and then my socks are pretty dirty. But my boat shoes, or my deck shoes, I forget what they're called. They're good for boats because they have non-marking soles. But I brought them up here because they're nice and comfy for kicking around in the evening. Yeah, and I'm sitting. I've got my shirt here, a nice clean shirt, but I didn't even put it on. Like, the bugs are, it's so strange. Like, there's so few bugs around. There are bugs. Certainly, there are bugs as you go through the forest. In fact, if you step like 10 steps into the trees, some deer fly will fly up and buzz you. But eventually, you get tired and he'll go away. And as you're traveling through the forest, you're mostly getting new deer flies on you, and then they get bored and then they go away. And I think it's partially because you put some bug spray on. Like, I put a lot of bug spray on my hat on the top and on the bottom around the rim. And I think they get tired of the bug spray after a while, and then they take off. And but it's the, as you're traveling, new ones are always coming at you. So that's why it seems like the bugs are so bad in the bush. But if you stopped anywhere for 10 minutes, eventually they get bored of you and they go away, and then you're fine. And there are been very few bugs here. And this is the 1st of August. It should still be bug season. We should have bugs right until the end of August at least, I would think. Pretty sure last year that was the case, but it's probably because it's so dry. I haven't seen anything. And now I'm sure that as soon as it gets dark, the mosquitoes will come out. I'm certain of that. And when it gets dark here, I'll head inside and turn on my thermosol. So we're waiting for the beavers to come out here. Those two trees, I love maple trees. They're probably my most favorite tree. I like maples and I like oaks. But those two trees block my view, and they're kind of stubbly trees. They're half dead. So they're going to come down. And I keep saying that I'm going to cut off the bottom branches of this tree so that we can at least see out. My buddy David, who was here last week helping us out, he said that Was it David or was it Ray? I don't know. One of them said that that tree would look awfully stupid when I do that. But I'm gonna try it, and if it does look stupid, then I'll just take the whole tree down. I don't think it will. I think it'll look okay. But we'll see. There's my trusty barbecue. I still think it's hilarious that so many parts jiggle out of it on the way here, and I still have a handful of washers and stuff that I don't know where they came from. I don't see. Barbecue's all together. It works. It's stable. Where did the extra pieces come from? I don't know. Oh, well. So I'm gonna sit here for a bit. I haven't had dinner yet. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna enjoy the view. Read a couple of business magazines. Business Exchange, Commercial Exchange. I like to read them to see what's out there. Prices of things. And wait for the beavers to come out. There's a chipmunk here by that tree right there, looking at me. Chipmunks out here are tiny. I haven't seen any squirrels. And the odd tiny little chipmunk, they're really flighty. They look at you like, what the hell are you? They haven't seen many humans out here, and then they take off. And I was tempted to bring out some peanut butter and give it to him, but it occurred to me that as soon as I give him some peanut butter and he knows there's peanut butter here, he's going to be in that shelter. And I can't keep him out of that shelter, so I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till the cabin's up before I start making friends with the chipmunks. Look at that fly. There's another weird thing. Out where I parked the car, as soon as I park the car, there's like, I don't know, 20 or 30 deer flies buzzing around the car. Get away from there. 20 or 30 deer flies buzzing around the car. And in fact, I can get out and walk around, and the deer flies are still buzzing around the car. It's kind of stupid. Today I get there, and there were some deer flies, but the next thing I know, they're all like house flies buzzing around the car. And I've never seen that here before. I've never seen a bunch of house flies suddenly appear and start buzzing around. And certainly there are horses right there. And so, yeah, you would get house flies wherever there's horse manure and stuff like that. But usually it's always been deer flies, never house flies. That was really weird. I'm not quite sure what's going on. And I don't mind. House flies I'm okay with. I worked on a farm for a couple of summers, and you really get used to house flies. They don't bother you after a while. I've heard some people say they prefer mosquitoes to flies. And I think, what? Are you crazy? Flies don't bite. They don't bother me at all. Oh, there's a chippy right there. I don't know if you can see him right near the tree, about 2 feet up from the bottom of the tree. Hey, Chippy! Probably the same one. It's funny, some animals in the wild, they don't know what to make of humans. Friend or foe? I don't know. Making an odd noise. Anyway, I'm not gonna, as I said, I'm not gonna feed him. One day we'll be friends. Oh, our neighbors, my neighbors to the south of here, Dan and Glenda, they brought peanuts, and they feed the chipmunks, and the chipmunks come right up, and they'll run right up your leg and sit on your lap and eat a peanut, and it's quite cute. But they've got a cabin that they can seal up, and the chipmunks can't get in, so they're okay with doing that. I'm not quite ready for that yet. It's funny, I left all my food out. Like, I've got a couple of bags of munchies just sitting there on the table with clips on them. And, a jar of peanut butter out there and a jar of honey out there. And I went home for the weekend thinking, should I really put that stuff in a bin or something? Because I got these big blue bins that they're airtight once you get them sealed up. And I thought I should put it all in there, and so nothing can get in there. And I thought, we were in a rush to go, so I didn't bother. And I come back and everything's fine. Nothing's been disturbed at all. So, and I haven't seen any sign of bears around here. Apparently there are bears, though. So, but on the other hand, berries, the black raspberries, are just ripening right now, and there's tons of them around. So there's tons of food for a bear. He doesn't have to come looking in strange places like this. Really disappointed these blueberries didn't produce anything. Yeah. Look at that. This is just beautiful. Look at that tree. I love these maples. One day I'd like to do maple syrup up here. There's enough maples around, although there's no like big maples. They're not. This is about as big as they are around here. Not that I want to do a huge maple syrup production. Just if I could produce a few liters for myself, or a couple of gallons. A couple of gallons or 10 liters. That would be more than enough for a year. I don't actually use a lot of maple syrup. Anyway, so I made a video before where I procrastinated and I kept filming because I didn't want to do something. And now I keep filming because I'm just so entranced by this place. How beautiful it is, and how nice the weather is right now, and how there are no bugs, and how my cabin's coming together, and I'm just sitting here having a beer, and I'm just really enjoying it. That's why I'm still filming. So this guy came to visit me. Ignore the rash on my hand. Kind of a cool greenish color. I like deer flies. Excuse me. Ugh, dragonflies. Jeez, don't like deer flies. Just gonna hang out there. Not doing anything, just hanging. Just chilling. For a while there, when I moved him, he always wanted to face north. Now he doesn't seem to mind so much. And joined by a little fly. Weird. Oh. Yeah. Well, he's gone. So this is my... well, I worked for the better part of an hour on this morning. This is my batteries. I did have just 2 batteries in here, but I added 2 more. They're all 600 amp hour batteries at 6 volts. So 2 are in series, and then the other 2 are attached in parallel to the 2 that are in series. So I'm maintaining 12 volts, but I should have 1200 amp hours at 12 volts. Yeah. So the wiring is a little bit better than I had it before. It's still not great. It's a little loosey-goosey. Just shouldn't be sitting here like this, but this is temporary. So, and I had to put my charge controller on this piece of plywood, this OSB, so that I could staple the wires on there. Because every now and then, one of the solar power wires would come out, just pop out. So now I've got them stapled, and they're going to be in there pretty good. Showing 12.4 volts, and this is also showing 12.4 volts. So this is the charge controller is charging the batteries. Solar's coming in, power's going into the batteries. It's monitoring the batteries. It's making sure it's not. It actually charges in 3 different levels: bulk rate, trickle rate, float rate, which is good. We want that to do that. It's a 20 amp. So this is my inverter. They're both hooked up to the batteries separately. This one's I'm just using for charging. Well, and there's these 2 wires coming off here on the right. That's my lighting. I hooked those directly to there because it doesn't have a load part, and it's just 12 volts. And I thought, well, it's not drawing much amperage, so why not? Why not just wire it like that? I could have wired them right up to my batteries, but fewer battery connections, the better. And then my inverter is connected to my batteries, and this is where I'm just running like 120 volt AC. Well, I'm back. It is August the 7th, Sunday, around 6 p.m. I brought in a load of stuff, water, a couple of new batteries, you can just see them there. And now I'm just making some dinner. I uncovered the floor, and it looks pretty good. It rained like crazy on Friday. I can tell that. Trail was a lot less dusty, and I see pockets of water in places. I've got a couple of water stains, one there, right where a rock was sitting, of course. And I don't know, yeah, there's one more right over here. Not a big deal. I mean, this is a subfloor, so you know, one of those things you never see. But as I keep saying, this will be my floor for a while. And of course it'll probably bug me, but what can you do? I don't know. Tarp's not going to be perfect. So I've got some, I believe this is teriyaki rice. Yep, and I got some veg to add there. And it was just taking forever for this to boil. I don't know if that can be seen, but the flames come downwards on that. They come down and then up. Kind of a bizarre scenario where that little stove that I have, the flames come straight up and at the pot. So it took forever for this to get going, and I was like, it's mostly cooked by the time it started boiling. Oh, that's just about ready. Add some peas and carrots. Some no-name peas and carrots. Throw them out. About done. It's too much for me to eat in one sitting, so I'm going to put some away. So this is what I've come up with for the 20-foot I-joists. That is a long way back. And yes, it's death going around trees. You gotta steer very carefully, and that back end hits trees like crazy, and it slaps off the ground, and oh, what a nightmare. But thankfully, these things are really tough. So I don't like the way that's holding together. Or I might put another strap on that, I don't know. So I blew a tire yesterday, big hole right inside of it, which is why I'm currently hauling a tire back in. And this is a fancy chest rig that I put together to carry it, because otherwise it'd be a real pain in the ass. I only had a ratchet strap to carry the bad one out, but I had this nice wide strap in the car. It's much more comfortable than that skinny little strap I was using earlier. I also got the length just right. Anyway, not too far, only a couple of kilometers. I'll be there, and then I gotta put the tire on. What a pain in the ass. So, this is what I've whipped up to bring in the metal roofing. Should be like 3 feet wide, 3 feet and 2 inches, so those slots are just a little bit larger than that. They're about 40 inches. And I was just thinking about it. I've got no, I've got side-to-side support on these, but I've got no forward and back support. And in fact, you know, if these hit the trees, especially the back ones, if they hit a tree, you know, and there's nothing really holding it. So what I'm going to do in the morning is put another piece here going on each side. And as well, if a tree comes in here, then it'll just slide down. And there's some extra pieces I'm taking out in case I need some more support in the middle. I'm not sure how wobbly these sheets are going to be, so I might need more in the middle. Which means, of course, that piece I'm going to put up there. That's never. Anyway, there's the new tire. Sexy. So this is what I got. Braced all around. If anything hits the front here, it'll maybe slide up. If anything hits the side, it'll bounce off. It won't catch on that last one. Braced forwards and backwards. The only thing to worry about is putting too much wood on there, because it gets heavy, and I'm bringing in heavy stuff, so I don't want to load it up with wood and then not be able to bring in my stuff. Anyway, I see a tire that needs air. So here we have first attempt. I got a bad feeling about this. It just doesn't, I don't know. And I'm worried that I'm going to bend the sides of the metal. I'll give it a shot. So, these are the long ones, 13 feet 4 inches. Maybe you can see an obvious flaw in my design here. Yeah. So the branches that we're hitting here and sliding up and going over top, now I'm going to hit here. Not that there's many, and not that there's many big ones. I'll just have to keep an eye on it. And the last load was the shortest ones, 9 feet something, 9 feet 7 inches. And so I kept them well back. These ones are the longest ones. And that's as far back as I could put them. And let me tell you, it's a pain driving like that. You can't see shit. You can't see shit. All you can see is like straight ahead of you. It's a good thing I know the trail really well. Even like standing up and driving, I cannot see the tops of them. So yeah, whatever. We can give it a shot. If this works, then I've only got one more load. Yeah, so this is what I see as I'm driving along.